Hey guys, welcome to the TaporSnap podcast. We're here with Ujjwal, Sayed, Ricardo, and today we're going to be
Hey,
talking about a whole bunch of things.
yeah.
I think we should start with the biggest news that was out there last week. Mr. Tom Aspinall, the UFC heavyweight champion, still
hmm Yeah.
getting eye poked and by Cyril Gahn. And I just wanted to know your thoughts on that, Ujjwal.
Okay. Okay. So I think he really did get poked in the eye, and it was affecting him because we all saw he got like double eye poked, and it bent in there. Could he see after that? Yes. I think he could see after that. But do you want to fight with the disadvantage in a title fight? I don't know, man. Like Cyril
Yeah,
Gane's a really good kickboxer, like really good, and he throws more than just one twos. He's good at angles, really fast footwork, really fluid on the feet. Tom Aspinall, like John Jones said, is his biggest weapon is the one two, and it was not working, and he had a little bit of ring rust, right? So I think he got poked in the eye, and he thought, maybe I should just chill out and like withdraw from this because I can't see properly. And he's a really good striker. I'm getting beat up. I don't want to fight with a disadvantage. So it's valid, but fighters are supposed to be tough guys, right? Like Chael Sonnen said. So should he have pushed through it? I mean, yes, you are supposed to be the baddest guy on the planet, right? I mean, MMA fighter, the heavyweight champion is supposed to be the baddest guy on the planet. Would the baddest guy, withdraw because of an eye poke? Well, I don't think so. So I mean, it's a gray area, man. I mean, he has every right to pull out, but he shouldn't have done that. I think it affected his star power. That's what I think, and I feel bad for the guy.
Yeah,
I think he is going to lose a
yeah,
lot of big opportunities.
yeah, exactly. So I think the no contest hurt uh, Aspinall more than it hurt Gan because Gan was piecing him up initially,
Yeah,
at least,
yeah,
and he was bloodied and all that. And I think you're right. He just took, I wouldn't say a coward's way out because I don't think anybody's a coward to get into the octagon. That's crazy. You have to
yeah,
be crazy to actually get into it. But
yeah.
I think he said, "I'll live to fight another day. I'll keep the title. There will be an inevitable rematch." And then maybe we'll get to see what happens. Because you rightly said, you don't want to fight with a disadvantage, even if it's a 10-20% bloody vision from one eye. Why would you want to go in and do that? You're the champion. You don't want to lose the belt. I don't want to lose the belt if I'm the champion. And then later on say in an interview, oh, I had bloody vision. Nobody's going to believe you. The
Exactly.
poke was kind of terrible. I mean, when you see the replays, like it went right in the one on the left eye, like the left eye. Yeah, it was like terrible.
Yeah,
So I think he did the smart thing. It might not have been the best thing for his legacy because people will compare him to John Jones and how John Jones beat Khan so easily, but he's still the champion. I think that's what counts the most right now.
yep, yep. What about you, Ricardo? Did he quit or no?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a complicated scenario because, on one hand, I understand because he did get poked in both eyes, and in one of those eyes, Gon's finger really did just slide right in. But the optics aren't good when you consider that Tom Aspinall was really struggling to find the range. The 1 2 wasn't working. He was getting popped by the jab. He couldn't get the takedown. Granted, this is a conversation I wanted to have. I think Cyril Gahn is a little bit of a dirty fighter because beyond the eye poke
mm,
that everybody saw, when Aspinall shot for his first takedown, if you slow down the footage, you'll notice that Gahn poked Aspinall in the eye during the entry, and then that's what forced Aspinall to kind of end up in the clinch. And so I think it's a case where Aspinall maybe realized, okay, this guy's a little better than I thought, but also Gon is kind of a dirty fighter. He pokes a lot of people in the eye, back of the head shots against Tai Tuivasa. He also he'll sneakily go for the body jab, but then it lands on the groin. So I don't know. I think these things are easy to look over because Gon tends to be, he's a nice guy. He's very personable. He doesn't trash talk. So most people don't focus on the fact that he does these things the same way most people don't focus on Nasruddin Imavov poking a lot of people in the eyes because they're nice guys. It's easier to focus on those things when it's someone like John Jones. You know, John Jones is not well liked. He has all these issues that we don't really need to go into. But when we're talking about Cyril Gahn and Tom Aspinall, I don't know if he quit. I do think he couldn't see as well as maybe he wanted to, especially in a title fight. You know, like Syed said, who wants to be the guy who loses the title? And then I don't know, a couple of interviews later, you're like, oh yeah, I couldn't see because I got poked in the eye. That just makes you look bad. So I understand to a sense the decision where he's like, you know what, I can't see. This jab was hard enough when I could see. Let me not risk it. But yeah, I don't know. I think this is it's weird that the guy who got poked is the one that's getting absolutely trashed, but the guy who has a history of dirty tactics is just kind of skating under the radar.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
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 It's also quite concerning to me that Aspinall's father came out to say that his son couldn't see 48 hours after the fight. Like he went to the
Yeah.
doctors,
Hmm.
there was some medical stuff to be looked at, but apparently, like Aspinall was blind in one eye. So I don't know how during the fight he'd fight like Khan with one eye, with 50% vision in one eye.
You
That
know
was
what he
another
shouldn't
thing
have
that
done?
really
You know what he shouldn't have done, though? Parading the
was
whole,
that.
the documenting the whole post IPOC
Yeah.
journey, like going to the
Yeah,
hospital.
Yeah,
yeah,
Oh
yeah,
God,
yeah,
That
no.
that was terrible. That was terrible. Like you got UAE
Terrible.
doctors
yeah,
looking at
Yeah.
him and they're asking like, "What is MMA? Oh, you're a top MMA fighter." I think that was just terrible. That's a terrible look for him. Oh,
yeah. That didn't
Should
look
have
good.
just let
That
it
did
go,
not
let
look
it
good.
be, let it cool down naturally. But that was almost as if he trying to like legitimize the issue, and it only backfired. Man, John Jones
Yeah,
smiling
that
now,
didn't
isn't he?
look good.
Yeah, that did not
He's
look good.
smiling, yeah. It didn't look good because after that, the weekend after that, Waldo's Cortez Acosta, he wins his fight after getting eye poked. And then that just
yeah,
looks bad. And then he calls Aspinall out in his post fight interview.
Yeah,
Just looks bad. It looks really bad.
yeah,
I don't know how this is because going into this, everybody loved Tom Aspinall. You know, oh, he's the baddest man on the planet. He's gonna destroy John Jones. He's gonna destroy Cyril Gahn. But now, oh, he's a quitter. He's this. He's that. And then another heavyweight gets poked in the eye, and then KO's the guy who eye poked him. And then some people are even mentioning the fact that Kevin Holland got kicked in the groin in his recent
yeah,
fight,
yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
and he still continued fighting. So yeah, this is not a good look at all. This is bad.
You know what? That was one
not to
case where
mention
he
that
should have quit.
Waldo was poked by
Yeah.
Aspinall's teammate.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Ooh.
So
yeah. And did you see before the fight? He said, "I don't understand eye poking in MMA. I've never poked anybody in the eye ever." And then in his very next fight, he poked someone in the eye. Just a
Oh,
terrible look. That's just awful. That's awful.
yeah.
Yeah,
Terrible. What else? What else, Nishant? Let's take it.
that was another piece of news that really dominated the airwaves this week, and that's none other than our beloved Ronda Rousey,
Hmm.
the greatest female fighter the world has ever seen, or so
Yeah.
she believes. But she recently went on
the
a
birdcast.
podcast
Yeah, the birdcast. Bird.
with Bert Kreischer,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and she really let
Mm.
loose on Joe Rogan. She let loose on MMA fans. She believes that they abandoned her, that they hung her out to dry after she started losing. And I just wanted to get your thoughts on this, Sayed. Like, is she right? Did the world of MMA really turn on the Ronda Rousey?
So the first thing I want to say is that why would she go on that podcast? Because that podcast felt so fake. The person who was asking the questions, no disrespect meant to him, but it just felt so out of place. Like I don't know what was going on with that guy. Secondly, see, you're saying MMA fans hate on Ronda Rousey and they let her out to dry. The WWE fans are the same. They don't like her also. So obviously, there's something that she has done or has not done that has irritated almost both sides of fans. Like it's very rare that you alienate the MMA fans and the WWE fans by doing nothing. So There's something
Mm.
with it. And when you say about Ronda Rousey, I'll say I got into MMA because of Ronda Rousey. She's the baddest woman on the planet. She's knocking people out. I remember those vignettes I used to see on social media at that time. And then the big story was, as I said in the few, and then I think the last podcast also, that Holly Holm knocked her out, and that was huge news to the world. Like, you knocked, like, who knocked Ronda Rousey out? So it's not like the fans didn't like her. It's just that the way she, yeah, the way she presented herself, that she's the greatest and all that, and then the stuff that she said after leaving MMA, I think that's the reason why people don't like her. I mean, you can be 13 and 13 and people will love you. She said that, people like Khabib just because he didn't get a loss and he left in his prime. Like, before touching his prime, he left. I don't think that's true. People like guys like Charles Oliveira. They like Chandler to an extent. Tony Ferguson. He was on a crazy losing streak and people still wanted
Yeah,
to see him
yeah,
fight. They were backing
Yeah,
him.
true, true.
Yeah. So
true.
I don't think that's the point. I think she's just alienated herself from everybody and everything. And I really don't know. I'm happy she's not returning to MMA because she would get knocked out quite easily now. But I don't know. I really don't know what she has against the fans. They're never gonna bring her, like, they're never gonna support her ever again, no matter what she says. And she makes it worse every time she says something. Just let it be, man. Just let
Hmm.
it be.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Ricardo?
Yeah, with Ronda Rousey, it's a weird situation. She went at Joe Rogan, and that's super weird because Joe Rogan was her number one supporter when
Yep,
she was still an
yeah,
active fighter. He was saying all of the most ridiculous takes, like Ronda Rousey can beat 50% of the male bantamweight division. She destroyed Floyd Mayweather. She's a once and ever talent, all of these things, all of these insane superlatives, but then, suddenly, oh, Joe Rogan sucks, he's this, he's that. And don't get me wrong, I think Joe Rogan has had some very questionable takes, like when he called Jorge Masvidal a new breed of MMA fighter and saying that, oh, yeah, Jorge Masvidal would beat GSP because he's part of a new generation, forgetting the fact that Jorge Masvidal actually started MMA before GSP. um, just I understand to an extent. Joe Rogan does have some questionable takes, but to say that about your biggest supporter, I think she doesn't understand exactly why people don't like her. When she was on top of the world, there were already people who didn't exactly like her, but it was for the same reason that a lot of people don't like fighters who win and trash talk. Like, oh, she's abrasive, she's this, she's that, whatever. I think it's when she loses and the way she handled that first loss. She lost to Holly Holm and then just vanished. No interviews, hit her face on a pillow when she was at the airport. And when she would come back eventually to fight Amanda Nunes, she had a condition in her interviews: do not ask me about my previous loss. That's very strange. I don't think any of us have ever seen another MMA fighter behave in that way. And then she loses to Amanda Nunes and just vanishes, goes to the WWE, and then makes everything infinitely worse by sharing that conspiracy video about, the Sandy Hook shooting that really made everybody hate her. And then she apologizes years later, years too late, and she makes all these comments like, "Oh yeah, I'm the greatest fighter in the world. I'm the goat. I'm this. I'm that." People said GSP sucked after he lost. Well, that's not true. GSP avenged every single loss he ever had. He's not undefeated, but everybody who beat him, he beat in a rematch. And it's not like he lost to all these people. Oh, people said Anderson Silva sucks. Not really. People questioned Anderson Silva because of the steroid test, but people still regard Anderson Silva very highly. And just like Sayed said, Tony Ferguson, he was on a crazy losing streak, but everybody wanted to see him win
Yeah.
because we all like Tony Ferguson. I think the Habib example was just said from a place of confusion on her part. Because, yeah, Habib is the only one who retired undefeated. And most of his fan base talks about, oh, yeah, Habib's the GOAT because he's undefeated. And so I think she thinks that anyone who isn't undefeated will automatically lose their spot in the GOAT conversation, which is what happened to her. So I don't know. I just think she's just angry that she doesn't understand why she comes across so unlikable to a lot of people.
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. Which was?
Uh, you know what comes to mind? So you guys have played FIFA video games, right? FIFA and UFC. So
Yeah.
there's a carrier system in those games. So there are options like hot, like there are interviews, mock interviews where there are two responses, like chill response and like hot response. Hot is like trash talky kind of thing. So if you choose a hot response, you better perform on the field. Okay, like you perform on the field, do some hot takes, and you get a lot of fans. You do some chill takes, you won't get fans, but even if you perform badly on the field, it's still fine. So being trash talky and being all overconfident is good when you win. When you win and when you have those amazing
Hmm.
performances. You know, John Jones, you always say he's the best, he's the greatest fighter to ever live. He backs it up. He doesn't lose. Like everyone who stands in front of him bites dust, right? The same thing with Cristiano Ronaldo when it comes to soccer. He's not like Messi. He's not very humble now, is he? But he backs it up with his performances. That is the issue with Ronda Rousey, and like to an extent to Clarissa Shields as well in boxing. She's like always talks about her, right? All her tweets. It's like I did this, I did that, I did this. But she wins. She has never been defeated. Ronda Rousey was the same. Like had this, like larger than life image of herself, and then she lost,
Mm.
and she did not handle those losses well. That
Yeah.
is a very bad combination. Yeah, people will hate you, the industry will hate you, everyone around you will hate you, even the media. That includes the media because people, human beings, run the media. So yeah, if you want to go that route, that hot, trash talky, like overconfident route, back it up. Then everything will be all right. Look at Ilya Tapuria. The guy talks all sorts of shit, but he backs it up. Or be the chill guy
Yeah.
like GSP. Like have some losses, but like people will still, kind of accept you. Rousey, yeah, she lost. She did not take those losses well, like Ricardo said, and this is to be unexpected. It's MMA, not golf where or tennis where people are chill and stuff like that. And yeah, coming to Joe Rogan, man, like of course he's had some really questionable takes, really questionable. But look, the guy's a legend in itself, okay, because he did what like a couple of shows free when the sport was still coming up, right? When it was human cockfighting,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
Hmm.
he is a fan. He's a fan who knows his stuff. And there are locker room stories where Joe Rogan, submitted UFC fighters and stuff. So he knows his stuff. But as takes can be, I mean, nobody can be on point with their takes. Demetrius Johnson get almost all his takes wrong. I mean, but he
Yeah.
is one of the greatest fighters of all time. So it's okay,
He is.
man.
Yeah.
We can cut
Yeah.
Joe some slack. And Ronda Rousey, I mean, she should have been kinder to him because he was one of her biggest hype men. So, and I don't know. I mean, Ronda is Ronda, I guess.
Yeah.
So it is what it is.
So I'm assuming everyone here is the consensus is that Ronda shouldn't come back to the UFC, right? Or does
Oh,
anybody think
for
that
sure, for
she
sure.
has a fight left in her?
Nah.
No,
Nah.
she can come back for a highlight reel, somebody knocking her
Absolutely
out, right? I mean, that's
Give
the
her
only
a
reason why she'd come back. Like the
give her an
UFC
easy
needs a
fight.
big pay-per-view or something, Ronda returns, and then I don't know, Amanda Nunes knocks her out again. I mean, look at that, Amanda Nunes is returning. That's how desperate the UFC is
Yeah.
right now to get some star power back. So
Yeah,
I wouldn't rule it out that she's coming back,
yeah.
but it wouldn't be a great return unless
I think
unless some of
Yeah.
the questionable betting lines start cropping up again.
Oh my God.
Oh God.
yeah, yeah. So,
Yeah.
so
Yeah,
I
that's
think
that's a
that's
great
I think yeah, that's a nice segue to
great
discuss what
segue.
happened.
Great
Yeah.
To the
segue.
yeah.
I think we
Yeah.
uh,
should leave the floor to Ricardo for this because he really gets ideas and stuff like this. Isaac Turgarian, Ricardo, go ahead, man.
Yeah.
What
That
happened?
Go
was
for it, man. Go
terrible.
for it.
That was terrible. And did you guys see what Dana White said after that? Because Ariel Helwani responds to the situation saying, "Oh yeah, all these fighters have come to me before saying that there are all these
Yeah.
people who've approached them to potentially throw fights." And Dana White's like, "Okay, well if all of these fighters have been approached by these shadowy people asking them to throw fights, why has no one ever approached me telling me this has happened? Why have you never told me? Why have you never told law enforcement?" And I think this brings into question a lot of the fights where people are like, "Oh, that was kind of a weird ending." Because I think we've all seen knockouts that looked a little suspicious,
Oh yeah.
but yeah, but that was bad. This is just reminding me of the whole James Krause situation where, he was feeding people insider information in his Discord server, like telling people, okay, this fighter is going into this fight with this kind of injury, and he's facing like somebody's going into a fight with, I don't know, a leg injury, and he's fighting a guy who throws really powerful low kicks. So bet on the guy to lose. So yeah, I mean, to an extent, this is probably a product of the fact that the UFC pays most of its fighters terribly.
Yeah.
These guys all try to
Yeah.
find a way. You can't even get your own private sponsors in the cage. Um, but yeah, that was bad. That was a fucking terrible.
Do you, Ricardo, do you think that um, this ongoing investigation, which has now gone federal, like the FBI is involved in it,
Mhm.
do you think it has any major real life effects inside the UFC? Like, does it hit them? Does it hurt them in any way?
I think, yeah, to an extent it might, because people who aren't familiar with MMA at all might research the UFC right now and they'll see, oh, it's part of TKO. What else is part of TKO? WWE. Oh, so it's
Hmm.
fake like WWE. And then you find out about this whole betting scandal. Oh, okay, so people are actually predetermining these fights so that this guy can win, so that whoever is betting on these fights can get the most profitable outcome. So I think to that extent it could hurt. It will really hurt if the UFC, with this investigation, or rather the FBI, uncovers maybe enough high profile fighters that are involved in this kind of scandal, then that would be really bad. Because can you imagine what the PFL or one championship will say if this actually leads to someone finding out, like, oh, I'm not saying it happened, but let's imagine they find out that, I don't know, Cyril gone through the fight against John Jones. Can you imagine what the PFL would say
Yeah.
or what one
Yeah.
Yeah.
championship would say? It would just be terrible for the UFC. So the UFC should really hope that nothing else comes of this and they just move forward and no one ever speaks of this again.
Yeah. Yeah. Ujwal, your thoughts on this?
So now they're on the radar. That is the issue. And for the next 5 years, maybe Trump is in the office and he's Dana's buddy with Trump, so he might limit the fallout. But what after that?
Mm,
Now everyone knows that UFC is one of the biggest supporters of Trump, and like Trump loves the organization. So what about the political rivals? It's not a guarantee that the Republican Party will stay in power forever, right? And then comes the fallout for all those shady decisions with the referees. Did Derek Cleary and
mm,
the rest.
Yeah.
So it's and that is not gonna stop anytime soon. Boxing couldn't do it all these years. UFC is definitely not doing it. There's no way.
mhm.
So this will be a recurring theme going forward. Like this FBI investigation, betting scam. Next week there will be a questionable decision. Then this betting scam will always be brought back to the front line every time something questionable happens. And if Dana can't nix it in the bud, right? I don't know. I think this might have cataclysmic
Mm,
effects on the UFC going forward.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
yeah, but it's also part of
yeah,
the problem of the product, right? Like the UFC is partner with, I think, a couple of betting websites. They have 15
Yeah.
betting ads thrown at your face. Before a
yeah,
PPV, somebody comes and talks
Yeah,
about betting.
yeah,
In between the fights, you get to see who's favored and who's
yeah,
not favored, and the odds keep changing when one
Yeah.
person is dominating
Yeah.
the round. So if
hmm,
you're pushing that kind of a product to the fans, uh, it just sends out the wrong message. Like betting is such a huge part,
Yeah.
and these guys are
true.
now, yeah, messing around trying to favor one person over the other. I, I don't know how the UFC, like you rightly said, the UFC has to nip it in the bud, because otherwise this could blow out of
Mm,
proportion.
yeah,
Like there's so much going on, right? People are losing money
Yeah.
over random bets. So yeah, terrible.
yeah.
Yeah,
And the
yeah.
sad part is
I mean,
Yeah.
if this ruins the UFC, right? Like if it's not gonna happen. Let's be real. But like if it does, then what happens to MMA? Because there is, it's not like we have La Liga, we have Bundesliga. It's not like we have the EPL. It's not
True.
like that.
Yeah.
It's
yeah.
UFC and then pretty much nothing.
No, no.
So
We'll have Power Slap taking over. Don't worry.
oh my god,
That's that's the exit
Oh
strategy.
my
That's
God.
the. Can you imagine Tom Aspinall, John Jones in a Power Slap contest? Like,
Oh,
oh
that would be
oh
My
horrible.
goodness.
oh
My goodness.
That'd be
yeah.
terrible.
uh,
Oh
Those
my god,
two
Insane.
settling their rivalry power slap.
man.
Yeah. I mean, in football, we have this thing, right? Like when you watch soccer, football,
Mhm.
you always have these calls, like referees' calls, and
Yeah.
fans go, this team is getting the calls, that team is getting the calls. Alex Ferguson
Mm,
made the phone call from behind.
Mhm.
he did.
Something happened. Liverpool paid them off.
Liverpool
So I
yeah.
don't.
wonder if
Liverpool don't.
every
Liverpool don't pay anybody.
all right, fine, fair. But I wonder if going forward, if every questionable decision becomes a conspiracy theory every time. Like I remember Peter Yan, Sean O'Malley, right? Like that fight, a lot of people were saying that, hey, I think the referees, like the judges and the referee was something fishy going on there. So I
Mm,
wonder if every questionable decision
Yeah.
in the cage becomes a conspiracy theory. But yeah, interesting times
Paddy Pimblett,
we
Jared
live in.
Gordon. Do not forget that.
Exactly.
That was
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
terrible,
yeah,
terrible.
Absolutely.
yeah. That's another one.
Yeah,
That
We
was
could do a
bad.
show. We could do like 5 shows just on this topic, like the number of
exactly.
questionable
Yeah.
decisions and
Yeah,
referee
because there are
calls.
so many. There's
Why?
so many.
So many.
Every card has two or three at least. Every
Yeah.
card has two or three. We keep saying that did they
Yeah,
stop it early? Did they stop it early? The referees are also under scrutiny after
Mhm.
this, for sure.
Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah. And this is I not just MMA, I think boxing as well. Like a lot of boxing fans have been
Oh,
Oh,
complaining
yeah, yeah,
non-stop.
completely,
Like
completely.
it's crazy.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Shall we move on?
Yes.
We
yeah,
have
we should
a
talk about Jake Paul,
Yeah,
Tank
yeah.
Davis. Yeah.
Oh,
yep, we have the Jake Paul Javante Davis saga that's been going on for a while now.
thank God, dude.
It's like the
Oh my
Dude,
fans
goodness.
manifested his cancellation.
you know
But
Arthur
yeah,
Betabayev,
Davis is in trouble.
Betabayev. He called him out, right? You guys remember it, right? Jake
He
Paul,
did.
like
He
last
did.
year,
He
last.
Yeah,
did.
yeah,
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 yeah.
I mean, his weight class, more or less. Why not fight him? No, Tank. It's ridiculous. Okay, it is. It's like me
Yeah.
wanting to fight a like 5-year-old and make it into a pay per view. Like, what is that?
Yeah. I mean, the size difference is too
Too
much.
much,
It's just too
man.
much.
Too much.
Tank Davis is like 135 pounds. He's really small. He doesn't weigh much at all. I mean, that's so little. That's so little. No one who has fought at heavyweight should ever, ever be caught calling out someone who weighs 135 pounds. That's just so little weight. That's shoulder pressing weight. That's
yeah,
not like,
yeah.
yeah, let me fight you. And I get it. Tank Davis is an exceptional boxer, but it wasn't a good look for either guy because Jake Paul was out here saying that, my dream is to one day become a boxing world champion. Well, yeah, fighting a guy that's several weight classes below you is not the answer because the accusation has always been Jake Paul doesn't want to fight anyone who is a serious boxer. He'll fight old MMA fighters, or if he fights a boxer, they will either be much, 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 much older than him, or they'll be a lot smaller. The only time he has ever fought a boxer that was halfway decent around his age and actually had some experience, Tommy Fury, and he lost.
Exactly.
So how are you telling us that you want to be taken seriously and you want to be this world champion in the future? And you're like, okay, after that I'm gonna go box Nate Diaz or whatever, and then I'm gonna box these no name boxers like I even forgot the guy's name. the one he knocked out with an uppercut, the journeyman boxer who
Yeah,
hadn't boxed in however long. And then it's like, okay, I'm now gonna fight Tank Davis. I mean, it
exactly.
just it just doesn't look good. And then for Tank Davis, you know, it looks really bad for him because everyone in boxing has always accused him of ducking people. He didn't want to rematch Lamont Roach because that was a very close fight. Another fight that may or may not have been a robbery. Very, very close fight. Couldn't knock him out. And then after that, he also doesn't want to fight Shakur Stevenson.
Yeah,
And they've
Yeah,
been beefing forever, forever. And that's the fight we want to see. Who's the best fighter at that weight class? He didn't want to fight him. He wants to fight Jake Paul. That's not a serious fight. If you're an actual true boxer with dreams of, I don't know, enthroning yourself as the best of your generation or even one of the best of all time, you don't look at Jake Paul and go, "Yeah, that's who I'm looking at as a serious challenge." Maybe for the money, but do that after your career is over, not when you're in the
yeah,
prime of your youth, not after you're saying like, "Oh, I'm done with boxing. I'm going to retire." And then you just come back to fight Jake Paul. That just looks terrible. Didn't look good for either one of them. And then we hear about, oh, he pulls out because he's having all these legal issues, which are nothing new. Tank Davis has always had a
exactly.
history
It's
of
he always had.
domestic violence. Yeah,
Yeah,
this is
mm,
nothing new. He's
nothing
always
new.
had a history. And now the fight's off. And now we're hearing about, or we were, they were considering Francis Ngannou. And Ngannou said, please don't disrespect me like that. And
He was like,
he
"Hey
had a little
boy,
back
choose
and
your
forth
words
with
wisely."
yeah, he's like, choose your words wisely because they had a little back and forth. And now it seems like we're getting the Nate Diaz rematch. Nobody wants that. Nobody wants that. It's just such a fall from grace. How do you go from boxing, potentially boxing, Gervonta Tank Davis to rematching Nate Diaz? I mean, come on. That's
Yeah,
terrible.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I do think that it looks worse on Davis for even accepting this fight when Shakur is
Mm.
so vocal about wanting to fight him. But yeah, who knows? Ujjwal, your thoughts on this, man?
but I mean, to be honest, I don't think anybody wants to see Shakur fight anyone. So I'm just putting it out there. I mean, come on, he's a great boxer, one of the greatest, maybe. But come on, man, we all have seen his fights, and like the guy should be a bit more aggressive. He has the potential to be great, but he won't be
Right.
one of the greats like this, not like this. At least be
No, no,
Mayweather, right?
sure.
At least be Mayweather. Get
Yeah.
some hits and don't just run around people. Anyway, so getting into this, hmm. No, what I said before, like Arthur Betabayev, he just directly called him out. If you want to be a world champion, if you're serious about it, fight him. He's roughly your size, a little smaller, but I mean, little still a little bit more
Yeah.
and much older. He's almost around 40, if I'm not wrong. You see,
Hmm.
he's 38,
Yeah.
39. He's up there. Uh,
Yeah, yeah,
didn't want to do that. He wants to fight Canelo. Then I mean, look, it's stupid. Like I don't think. No, this is the prime example of you create enough noise in the right way. It doesn't matter what you do. People will tune into you. So I think
Mm.
doesn't matter. I think Jake Paul is here to stay, man. Whoever he fights, he will keep up this gag for a
Yeah.
while, make some money, and the good thing is whoever he fights, the opponent will also make some money. So at least that way,
Yeah.
MMA fighters will
Yeah.
actually earn some decent, decent. Yeah, they'll feel some green for the first time in their life. So you know, that's good, I guess. But yeah, feed him to Arthur with a bio, man. That's it. Finish this thing off. Finish the Jake Paul saga off. Yeah, there's nothing more to
What
add
about
there.
you,
Yeah.
Sayed? You
Just
agree with that?
Yeah, I wholeheartedly agree with both what Ricardo and Ujjwal said. I just feel like how terrible it is for his promotion, most valuable promotions, like 2 weeks out from the event, right? You're going on Netflix.
yeah.
It's supposed to be such a huge deal. It's not obviously Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson, obviously, but
Mm.
they were looking at maybe similar numbers, maybe a little lower, and then you pull it out, and you can't find an opponent. I mean, it just smacks. It looks so unprofessional. And then I really don't want to talk about Javonta Davis's legal issues because that's the last thing we want to highlight or anything. But I don't know, man. Like this is just a bad look all around. Like it's been a bad week for combat sports, I would say. Going from Tom Aspinall to the
Yeah,
apparent match fixing Bulgarian and now this.
Hmm.
Like the worst thing that can happen is I don't want to jinx is that the UFC 220 322 event getting cancelled or something main event.
Oh no, I won't see that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
don't want to
that
see it.
would be
that
bad.
No,
Yeah.
that's why
that
I
would
said
be
it out
really
before.
bad.
I said it beforehand so that it doesn't get cancelled because that would be terrible.
Yeah, that would be
Yeah,
terrible.
Yeah.
yeah. I feel like we can use that segue to
I
preview
want
the
fire
Man,
UFC.
UFC.
Today, man.
Syed
All
is
my
on
segues are
fire, man.
perfect.
UFC.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
brilliant.
he's Sayad's on fire today for sure with
Yeah.
these segues.
It is.
Hey,
So
fire Stephen A. Smith.
let's
Put this
let's
guy on the mic.
I'll replace Bruce Buffer soon.
I mean,
Don't
why
worry.
not? Why not?
yeah, I mean,
I'll
uh,
replace
yeah.
Daniel Cormier. Come on, Daniel Cormier I can replace.
Oh, yeah,
Or
for sure.
Rogan. No,
Yeah,
Rogan.
of
Rogan.
course.
No, no, Rogan. Rogan has the most inane takes. He just says the same thing time and time again.
damn,
Ronda
your
Rousey.
dreams
Now
are
Ronda
your
Rousey is going to always
yeah,
dream
He
big.
does have the most
your
insane
dream.
takes.
Syed's dream started here. Then he was like,
yeah.
"I'll replace Joe Rogan."
Yeah,
Oh,
unlike Joe Rogan, Sayed will fly overseas for the
Yeah,
broadcasting.
yeah,
Oh yeah,
sure.
He won't
100%.
just he
yeah.
won't limit himself to the US.
No,
Yeah,
no, not at all.
But yeah, but
yeah.
speaking of events, UFC
Hmm.
322, we have
Hmm.
Islam Makhachev and the Australian Jack Della
Mhm.
Maddalena throwing it down.
Yeah.
So Sayed, let's start with you first. Main event. What's your call? What's your preview?
So it's interesting, right? Because whenever somebody moves up a weight class, people, doubt him. They think that he's not going to be that good. But Islam's been making all the right noises. He says he likes eating and training more now because he gets to eat and he doesn't have to cut so much
Yeah,
weight. Uh, Jack also, like today himself, he was speaking, I think, to Israel Adesanya, and both these guys have spoken so great about their rivals, like it's almost like a friendly rivalry at sorts. So Islam also comes into this fight as a slight favorite, which is very interesting. And I think he just might be able to get it. Now, obviously, Ricardo will be and Ujjwal might speak about the technical aspects of their backgrounds in Sambo and maybe striking, etc. I just feel that Islam might just do it because he has more championship experience in the UFC compared to Jack. That's the only
Mm.
thing I think that he might have over Jack. Because both of these guys are coming off great winning streaks. Like Islam, I don't think has lost in 10 years. Jack hasn't lost in 9 years.
Right.
So I'm just interested in seeing a good fight. Uh, will we see striking? Will we see takedowns? That is something that I don't know. We'll see because Islam's good at striking now. He wasn't
yeah,
that good previously, but right now
Mm.
he can strike with the best. Jack's a good striker as well. Will Jack be the one defending takedowns or doing the takedowns also? It's very interesting. Like it's a very interesting fight. I want Islam to win because I don't know. I wouldn't say I want double champions, but I think that's the only way he can improve upon his legacy. There's nothing more he can do at
Mm.
lightweight apart from taking on Taporia. That's the only other fight
Right.
that we want to see. But for his legacy, for being considered as a GOAT, or maybe even usurping Khabib's
Yeah.
legacy, I think he needs that double belt.
yeah.
So yeah.
Hmm.
Do you think, Sayed, do you think that with a win, like Islam would surpass Khabib in the UFC on the GOAT
I
list?
I think he would because you look at the people he has defeated, Islam. I think
Yeah,
his resume is better than Khabib's. He's beaten Volkanovski. He's beaten quite a few big names. So I think the only big names that Khabib beat was Justin Gaethje, Dustin
Connor.
Poirier, and Conor. Obviously, yeah, Conor.
Hmm.
So
yeah,
Islam's done that too already. He's beaten Poirier. He's beaten Volkanovski. I think Islam could actually usurp Khabib with a win
Charles.
for sure. The Charles, yeah, Charles. So yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah, yeah. All right,
I,
moving on to Ricardo. What do you think?
I think it's a good fight. Who wins? That's a bit of a tough one because more often than not, whenever people hear about someone moving up, they always say, "Oh, he's gonna struggle with the size. He's too small." But when we really think about it, fighters who move up tend to do really, really well. Aljamain Sterling moved up. He did very well at featherweight. He ragdolled Calvin Kattar. Ilia Topuria, he moved up to lightweight, destroyed Charles Oliveira, and we just see this history. I mean, Gilbert Burns, he was nothing at lightweight. And then he moves up to welterweight. He ends up fighting for the title. Jorge Masvidal, again, nothing at lightweight. Moves up to welterweight. He does reasonably well. Alex Pereira, middleweight, moves up to light heavyweight. Oh, he's too small. Everybody was saying that at the time. He's too small. Where we're big here. He's not that special here. Anthony Smith said it. It's ridiculous. And then what happens? Alex Pereira takes over the division. John Jones moves up to heavyweight, destroys everybody he fights. So I think there's this idea that fighters will struggle with the size, but that doesn't always happen. Alexander Volkanovski, when he fought Islam Makhachev, everybody was saying, "Oh,
Yeah.
Islam's too strong. He's too big. He's too this." But to be fair, Volk also did used to weigh quite a bit, like 230 pounds or whatever it was, and he's a very, very, very strong guy himself. He did very well against Makachev in the first fight. The second fight's a completely different story, but the first fight he did very, very well. So I think the whole size strength differential isn't what it actually is, unless, of course, you're fighting somebody that just has no skill whatsoever. As far as this matchup is concerned, I mean, I'm tempted to say Islam will win because he is the more well rounded fighter. Islam can do everything. He does have some weaknesses that play into De La Madalena's strengths. Islam moves linearly. He doesn't have a lot of lateral movement, and he has a really bad tendency to exit boxing exchanges by pulling back at the waist. That's just asking to get caught. And JDM is a good boxer. He's a very good boxer. And he also has a kind of, because you would imagine, okay, someone with a high guard is just asking to be taken down. Because if you have a high guard all the time, all someone has to do is just, I don't know, fake a 1-2 and then shoot under the high guard and you got a takedown. But JDM, as he showed against Bilal Muhammad, he kind of has this like low crouch defense where he keeps the high guard so that he avoids a situation where maybe someone fakes a level change, like he's going to shoot for a takedown and then throws an overhand right. If you're not paying attention, you're going to lower your guard and then you're going to get cracked over the top. But what he does is he drops down, keeps his high guard, so that the person shooting for the takedown crashes into that high guard that he dropped down with. So it's like he's very well primed to fight against wrestlers and grapplers. And I think working with Craig Jones will really help him. Craig Jones has experience against Islam, especially with Volk. And one thing that you have to do against these Dagestanis is don't engage in guard play. The moment you get taken down, you have to start rolling. You have to start moving because these guys are chain wrestlers. And you will lose these sequences if you let them get a body lock. You have to immediately get going. And in the clinch, Islam, he's better than Habib in the clinch because in the clinch, Islam will throw knees to get you to throw knees back. And then once you are trying to knee him in return, once your leg is in the air, he's going to trip you on your standing leg to get those judo trips he gets. And I think Volk's first fight against him will be really, really valuable because it showed what you should do against Islam. Do not settle. Always move when he takes you down, immediately scramble because if you let him get a hold of your feet, like he'll triangle your feet and then he'll elevate your ankles. At that point you're just gone. There's nothing you can do. So I think it's a tough one. I think Islam will pull it off, but I wouldn't be surprised if JDM beats him. They have tape on him. He's working with Craig Jones. So I think an upset wouldn't be that surprising, but I think I'm still going to go with Islam. He's just too well rounded. And he's looking big, too. He's looking
Oh yeah,
massive. He's training
Yeah.
rich.
yeah,
Yeah.
He's
man.
Yeah.
looking huge.
Dude, I saw
All
Islam's
right,
new
Ujjwal.
videos and I was like, I need to hit the gym more. Dude, the guy looks like a freaking Greek god. Okay, he looks great. But yeah, so I do
Mhm.
think Islam needs he needs this win, man, to get out of Khabib's shadow. People forget the fact that Islam has four title defenses. They all, I mean, most of us still think that he has only three. He has four. People tend to forget that, and it's almost synonymous, right? Khabib and Islam. People say it in the same breath, their names. To Islam to truly separate himself from Khabib, I think this is it. Get this belt, and he will get the appreciation that he rightfully deserves. But but I think about his striking, man. I think Islam is really good. He's a good striker now, but I don't think he can outstrike a striker. He can just hang with them just about to get his game going. And I don't think he's great at range. He's not great close up. It's in the mid ranges that even with the Dustin Poirier, he was in that mid range, striking with him. And doing that with Jack Della Maddalena, it is a dangerous game. That is where he shines, like just before the pocket, there's a space where just he gets off his body shots and stuff. I don't think Islam wants to play that game with him. And I don't think he will because he saw the Bilal Muhammad matchup and he realizes he needs to go for those takedowns real fast. And with Islam, it
Yeah.
won't be single legs, double legs. It would be like more of trips, hip throws, those judo throws, all those good stuff. So Jack will have to deal with a lot more inventive stuff. At the same time, I don't think Islam is that top heavy like Khabib was, right? I don't think he has that same ability to keep people down. So even if he takes Jack down, I think Jack might spring back up to his feet. It will take some effort, but he will do it. I think. The only question is, can he keep Jack on the ground just enough to make him tired and maybe squeak out a decision or then get his submissions going because Madalena's submission defense is pretty good. I mean, Craig Jones literally said that he learns from him, from Jack's jiu-jitsu game. So that is a big praise coming from one of the best in the game.
Yeah,
So
it is.
Yeah.
so who wins? I think I might still favor Islam, but I don't know. His top game is not that. I mean, it's great, but compared to Khabib, maybe not that great. I don't think he might be able to keep Madeline on. I don't think he will be able to do what Kamsa did to DDP. I don't think that is a possibility. So the fight will get back to the feet at some point. And in those mid ranges, before Makhachev reapplies pressure with his takedowns, in those mid ranges, can Jack get the job done? That's the real question. He might, he might. But if I'm a betting man, I think I'm gonna bet on Islam. Yeah, that's what I think, man.
Wow.
But we'll see, won't we? It's not that far away. So
I mean, Islam is 3 for 3 right now, technically, on this podcast
yeah.
at least. Yeah.
But if the Madalena
But
wins, I think it might be I don't know, man. Will he get KO'd? Do you guys think he'll get KO'd? Maybe not, but
He might.
yeah,
he
He
might.
might.
yeah, he
Yeah.
Yeah,
might.
he might.
He might.
The thing about Madalena, I feel like right now, I would actually, I think I'd pick Madalena because
Oh,
he just
okay.
has this weird, calm aura to him. That's it. That's my frame of reference.
Yeah.
Fighting skills aside, he just seems like he's not stressing. Volkanovski gave a lot of interviews where he kept saying how well prepared he is for Islam. Charles Oliveira gave a lot of interviews and he said, Islam has never faced someone like me. But Madalena hasn't done that. He hasn't given a lot of interviews. He's not talking much. I do think the Sydney Sider has something up his sleeves. I do think Madalena could steal the win.
Hmm.
But
Yeah.
we'll see, we'll see. Um, Ujwal, we
Yeah.
have Valentina Shevchenko and
Yeah.
Weili Zhang in the co-main event. Your thoughts on that?
I might be biased because I'm a big Valentina fan, always have been, right? So it's hard to pick. But Bailey is good, man. But then again, Rose Namajunas was able to hold her down, right? Like
Yeah,
used wrestling. Valentina, her ground game is really good. And her stand-up, I think, is objectively better than Bailey's. She handles distance well. She might not be faster, but she might be craftier. Uh, and Bailey had a close fight with Joanna Jacek, uh, who had a really bad outing too with Dos Namajunas. Dude, I'm doing MMA math here, which we all know doesn't work like that. But still, but still, I think Valentina will get it, man. I think she is as well-rounded as Bailey is. I think she is just a bigger, more well-rounded fighter. As I know, she's not the most exciting fighter, as we rightly pointed out during the last podcast. I remember Saeed, mentioning like she does guns and all those stuff, but she doesn't really get finishes and stuff. So I think she can get the
Mm,
job done, man. Decision for sure, unanimous decision, not even split. Gonna be a dominant one-way fight, I think. Unanimous decision. Valentina Shevchenko. She's gonna piece her up. She's gonna take her down and send her back to strawweight.
Wow.
That's what I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow.
damn.
Wow. Sayed,
Dude,
you?
not too objective for a journalist, is it? Shit.
Oh wow! I completely took that out. So yeah, I mean, this is an interesting one, right? So
Yeah.
Bailey is also moving up a class to take on Valentina. Uh,
Mm,
I think I'll side with Ujjwal regarding this. I think it'll go to a decision, unanimous one, but I don't think it'll be that one-sided as Ujjwal is saying. I think Valentina will get the job done. It's so strange now that everybody needs that second belt to validate themselves somehow. Uh, like I don't know. So see, there could be a surprise. I'm not saying that Bailey can't do it. She recently, I think, posted a video.
mm,
She really bulked up. Like she has bulked up also. So
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
not gonna rule anything out. But Valentina has the experience to get it done. I think she lost to Grasso once, and everybody went crazy. Like, oh my god, how did she lose to Grasso? So that was a surprise. But I think she'll get the job done for sure. Maybe not dominant, but yeah, she'll get the job done.
All right.
mm.
Ricardo?
Yeah, I mean, this is where I'm gonna differ from everybody. I don't think Valentina's going to win.
Ooh.
She might, but I don't think Valentina's that much better. I don't think she's a better striker at all than Zhang Weili, because Valentina does one thing very well. She manages distance very well, but her entire game revolves around getting people to kick ahead of themselves, or getting people to get so frustrated from the fact that she neutralizes engagement that they just lunge into range. So what she'll do is she'll throw a low kick, and she'll do it really, really quickly. And she's perfectly comfortable just kind of spending minutes at long range throwing low kicks, just tapping you, maybe landing a jab here and there, but she doesn't commit to anything. And the entire purpose is she wants you to kick ahead of yourself so that she can then catch you out of position, but she won't do much else beyond that. She also really wants to frustrate you so that when you lunge, she ducks under, gets the clinch, gets a body, like a body lock, and then trips you to the mat. But when she's on the mat, she doesn't really do much when she's on the ground. There are some instances where, she did finish Jessica Andrade, but she doesn't do much. She's not a submission threat. Her ground and pound isn't really active. She just kind of holds you down and controls you very badly. That's really what she does. But she's not a submission threat. And beyond that, she has a really bad habit of going for head and arm throws. They're just so ridiculous. Head and arm throws are so dangerous because you expose your back every time you try them. So if you miss them, you just give somebody back control. It happened when she fought Holly Holm, and Holly Holm's not that good a grappler. As far as Zhang Wei Li's concerned, I think she's in a way craftier. Zhang Wei Li is one of the only people who realizes that when you throw a spinning back kick, if you land, it looks cool. But if you miss, you expose your back, and that also leaves you vulnerable to getting rear body locked. So she did this against Joanna Young Jacek. She threw a spinning back kick and immediately threw a spinning back fist to catch her when she's trying to come in. I think the speed will also be an issue. Valentina Shevchenko is just used to being faster than everybody. That's actually one of the reasons why she struggled so badly striking with Alexa Grasso in their first fight, because the speed was something she wasn't prepared for. So I think the speed will be an issue. Obviously, she's bigger, she's very strong, at least as far as Wei Li will be concerned. And it doesn't look good. You were controlled on the ground by Rose Namajunas. So what will Valentina do? But because she's bigger and stronger. But ultimately, I'm going to have to go with Zhang Wei Li. I think Valentina, she's going to struggle with the speed. I don't think she's a better striker. And I think the age will just catch up to her. She has not looked good
Hmm.
in her recent fights.
Hmm.
So I will pick Wei Li. I don't think anybody's getting finished, but I'll say Zhang Wei Li split decision.
Hmm.
Oh, wow, that's interesting. But I think, yeah, the main and co-main events are so difficult to like pinpoint and predict. But there's another
Mm.
fight on this card that's really interesting. It's really interesting. Leon Edwards versus Carlos Prates. It's a very intriguing fight. Ricardo, who do you think is winning that? Do you think the former champion takes it?
Oh, no. No. Leon Edwards. The thing is, he has all the skills to win. He does. But Leon Edwards is, I don't know. He's a really annoying fighter to watch because he will not do anything if he's not 100% sure that it
Hmm.
will be the perfect engagement. So he won't do anything. He might throw a very nice 1-2 because he found a pocket for it, but then he won't do anything after that. He'll just kind of admire his work, and then he'll just look for another moment to land the perfect strike or force the perfect engagement. He also has really bad fight IQ moments. Why would he shoot a takedown against Bilal Muhammad? Okay, I get it. You managed to kind of sort of out wrestle Kobe Covington, but it's just Kobe Covington. I don't think Kobe Covington is that good. Um,
Yeah.
I mean, he's not. He's just not. Um, and okay, you did that, and then you also had another like low fight IQ moment against Sean Brady. I
Hmm.
mean, you tried to take down Sean Brady as well. That didn't work out for you. So he just has these moments where he either tries to force the perfect exchange, and once things aren't going his way, he'll try things out of desperation and just have these low fight IQ moments. I don't think that's a good recipe against someone like Carlos Prates. I think Carlos Prates is going to go in there and he's just going to be able to fight with no issue. Leon
Yeah.
Edwards is not a good boxer. He's a good kicker, he has good elbows, but Carlos Prates is someone that you need to pressure. He's not going to pressure him. He's not going to frustrate him with his movement. He's just kind of going to give him a lot of time and space to just fight
Yeah.
comfortably.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say Carlos Prates. I don't know if he knocks him out, but I think he wins.
Yeah.
All right,
Hmm.
all right. Sayed, your thoughts on the fight?
I think Pratis is gonna get the win, and I am gonna disagree with Ricardo. I think he's gonna get a knockout or some kind of a finish, man. He's got that in 11 of his last 12 fights. It's insane.
Yeah.
Like the only fight he lost was I think
Mm,
against Ian Mercado Gary.
Yeah.
But apart from that, I was just checking it out. He's got 11 KOs, TKOs in his last 12 fights. I think,
Yeah.
unfortunately,
yeah.
Edwards is gonna get knocked out, which is kind of surprising because you thought that once he won the title, he would just go on and go on and
Yeah.
go on.
Right.
I was really surprised as to how well Bilal did against him, and then he lost the next fight
Yeah.
also. So it's kind of weird how his stock dipped after winning the title.
Yeah.
So I think
Mm,
Pratis will get it done.
So it is
All right,
surprising.
football.
Yeah, like Ricardo said, he has all the ability. Even in the Bilal fight, I feel if he believed in himself a little bit more, he would have got the win. Like he has
mm,
the ability to do that. But it's like Dean Thomas said, right? Like there's something about him. I forget the exact quote, but he said like there's something about his mindset that he gives up he lacks the it factor or something. Dean Thomas said he had the same issue.
Yeah.
He was not championship metal. So I think it's the same thing with Leon, man. He has all the ability, but just doesn't do enough during fights. With Carlos Prater, like with Ian Machado, Gary, he was getting different looks, takedown threats and stuff. He was a little bit timid. He did not fight his fight until the very end. Didn't get going on the feet. And this time around, especially with the fighting nerds, losing back to back to back, I think Prates is gonna come out like a bat out of hell, man. I don't think Edwards is gonna handle the pressure very well. And oh yeah, dude, yeah, my power just freaking went off.
Oh no.
Oh,
anyways, anyways, at least I'm audible. So yeah, so I think he's gonna get finished. He's gonna just pressure him, and Leon is gonna hesitate even while defending. And lights out. I should have said lights out when my light went out. That would have been awesome.
Yeah, yeah.
that'll be the perfect end.
Next time, next time.
Next time.
You keep that in mind.
But I think it's a finish. It's not even a TKO. I think it's a KO.
You think it's a KO?
I think it's a KO. Something like
Maybe,
something
maybe.
what happened with something similar to what happened with Leon Murphy and Aaron Aaron Pico. Like flat
Yeah.
out, lights out, dead.
Are you going to
That's
be a
fair.
betting man? Are you going to make that bet? Or are you going to wait for the
I
line
don't
changes during the fight?
I don't exactly. I will wait until the FBI investigation is over. Then I'll see what's what.
Smart decision. Smart
Smart
decision.
decision. I think
Yeah.
that's pretty much it, I guess, for today. Or do we have anything else?
I think that's
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
That's
That's
it.
it. That's
Yeah, I
it.
think that's
We've
it.
done a good hour. We've covered
Yeah,
some
we had
great
a
topics.
yeah,
Yeah. So I think
exactly.
we'll wrap it up officially
Officially.
for
Hey,
this
third
episode.
episode, people. Isn't that great?
We're getting
Perfect.
better at this, and hopefully
Actually.
the listeners enjoy it. And see you next time.
Yep. See you guys.